We're looking at one of the questions on the Chapter 5 Skills Check, and I'm going to use math type to write in the solution to this one, just so I can type pretty. There is more than one way to do this. One of the ways that is most congruent with our lesson in Chapter 5 is to multiply both sides by the pair of denominators. And so we can do that. It also is method 2 mentioned in 5.4 is cross multiplying, and this would give us the same result. So we're going to go with that method. And so above this, I'm going to write that my my least common denominator is going to be the pair of denominators. So I'm going to copy them just because it's what I wanted to do. Copy. Easier than retyping them. And I'm going to use both denominators because they are not equal. And again, this is just one way to solve this, and this is the way that I'm going to choose right now because it's most congruent with our lessons in sections 4.4 and 4.5. So we're going to multiply both sides by that pair of denominators. All right. And so the effect is, hang on, I just want to copy. The effect is that in the first fraction, the denominator, which was x squared minus 5, will cancel with the x squared minus 5. And in the second fraction, the denominator that was x squared minus 25 will cancel with the part where we're multiplying by the x squared minus 25. So once those cancel, we're really ending up here with 8 times the x squared minus 25 on this side, and then equals on this side 1 times the square root of, 1 times x squared minus 5. I spoke there. Because 1 was the number on top, multiply that over here. I don't really need to write the 1 because there's not going to be any change to this when I multiply it by 1. Okay, so going on to the next line. This gives us, first of all, 8 times x squared is 8x squared, and then minus 8 times 25 is 200. And then let's try to get our like terms on the same side. Actually, it's quadratic, so we're going to want everything on one side and to get it equal to 0. So first of all, I'm going to subtract off the x squared piece over here. So minus x squared will give us 8x squared minus x squared is 7x squared. And then I have a negative 5x, so if I add 5x to the other side, we'll be able to get this equal to 0. Now, at this point, it is hopefully going to be factorable. And so I'm going to try to break this into 2 parentheses. The only way to multiply to a 7x squared is with 7x and 1. So that at least makes the first term easy, so 7x and x. And then I need 1 plus and 1 minus to make a negative 200, and I'm just going to try some things that multiply to 200 to try to get this factored. So, for example, 200, and we'll just go through them until we find the pair that works. So 200 is 20 times 10. Maybe we'll start there. So I'm going to put in 20 and 10, and then check the middle terms. So this gives for our middle terms, 7 times negative 10 is negative 70x plus 20x, which is not going to be the right values. That's negative 50x. So that is much too large. So I'm going to try to get numbers here that are even closer together. So I'm going to try, say, instead of 20 and 10, something bigger than 10. So let's see, 200 and... what goes into it is maybe bigger than 10. I don't know. I'm thinking about this. I know 8 and 25 go in. What else? We could try that. Or, let's see. I don't know. We're just going to try a couple times until we find something else that goes in. What else might go in? I'm thinking out loud here. So 20 and 10, then I'm not getting a whole lot of options. So I can try 8 and 25. I could try switching these, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. I want the smaller number multiplied by the 7, I believe. So let's try 25 and 8 and see if that gets us anywhere. So that would give us, oh yeah, that is what I want. Not necessarily this pair, but I do want to make the number that I multiply 7 by a little smaller because the 70 was really too large there. So let's see if this gets us a little closer. So let's see, 76 and, 7 times 8 is 56. And so this gets us to a negative 31. So we are moving in the right direction. Trying to decrease this. So I need to actually decrease the value of 8 to make the product of 7 and 8 a little larger. So I can do that. So I know that 200 divided by, let's see, not 8, smaller than 8, so maybe 5. 5 is 40, so let's try that one. So 40 and 5. Okay, so let's try that pairing up here again. 40 and 5. And so 7 times 5 is negative 35 plus, and then 40. And there we go. We get 5x. So we found the pairing right here to get this factored. Sorry, it took me a few times to try it. I hadn't factored this one ahead of time. All right, so that's our work for factoring. I'm going to move that off. And this is equal to 0, so I can set each of the factors equal to 0. And we'll find out what we come up with here. And this gives me 2 answers. To solve each of those, I'm going to get 7x equals 40, or x equals negative 47. Wrong button. Definitely wrong button. There we go. Subtract the 40 and then divide by 7. And the other one gives me x equals, add 5 over, so x equals 5. A lot of times when I have 2 solutions like this, I do need to check them. I do always need to check that my solutions are in the domain of the function, and so they don't make the denominator 0. So if I go back up to the original, if I do plug 5 in, 5 squared minus 5 times 5, or 5 squared minus 25, either one of those is going to be 0, and so this is not in the domain, so it's not allowed to be one of the solutions since it's going to make us divide by 0. And that gives us just one solution to the equation, which is negative 47. And hopefully, when we flip back over to our Math Lab tab, that is also what they have. And it does appear so.